Morning and welcome to morningencouragement.com. You've landed on day number 8 of the Gratitude Project. If this is your first day stopping by, no worries. You can go click on the hashtag Gratitude Project on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and maybe even Google Plus if you're one of those guys. I think I put it on there as well. But click on that hashtag. You will see some links to videos popping up. Go to Vimeo, go to YouTube, Gratitude Project, look up Morning Encouragement, Glenn Siepert, and you will find all the videos there. But hey, Gratitude Project, real quick, 10 days, 10 videos, 10 different people, all talking about gratitude. And today, we have the honor of hearing from my friend, Tim Schwinge. If you've been following the videos all along, you know that on day number 4, we had Rob Schwinge. Rob is my best friend, one of the pastors at my church, Powerhouse Christian Church in Wyckoff, New Jersey. Tim is his brother, one of the youth leaders at the church, an all-around fantastic human being. Timmy, I love you. He's a really great guy. He's always gone out of his way to encourage me, and I'm really inspired by his creativity. He's one of the guys at Powerhouse that does a lot of the graphics. He does a lot of the pictures and different things like that to go up on the screen. He does a lot of the video shoots. He's obviously super active in youth group. He's one of the youth leaders there. But he's really one of the creative geniuses of the church. And that inspires me because that's what I do at morningencouragement.com. You know, we got the app and the podcast and the videos and the blog and all those different kind of things. And he really inspires me with the way that he operates that stuff in his own life and in the church as well. So, that said, this is day number 8, the Gratitude Project. Tim has a great word for you. Listen to him, do what he says, apply it to your life. It's going to make your life better and the lives of people around you better as well. Have a super day, and I will see you tomorrow for day number 9. Later.
Hi guys, how are you today? It's Tim from Powerhouse. I'm super excited to be a part of this project and to get to share with you today. Now, a little bit about me. I count myself as a creative person. Now, the one thing they always tell you about working with a creative person is this: you always want to give them a deadline. Now, you always want to give them a deadline because here's the problem with creative people. They are going to use every second of that deadline to deliver the project that you're asking them to do. So naturally, that brings us to today. Now, originally, when Glenn asked me about this project, I began to brainstorm. I was going to shoot it in a park. There's going to be trees around. There's going to be water. I was going to be by this little lake thing. It was going to be cool. The clouds would part. The sun would come down. It was going to look awesome. But here's the problem. I waited to shoot the video, and now I need to get Glenn this video, but it's raining today, so I can't shoot the video in the park. I had to scrap the whole plan that I had. Here I am shooting this video in my office. So here we go. I'm going to share with you today. I'm really excited about it. Now, another little thing you need to know about me. If you've met me before, you already know this. I love people's stories, and I love to ask questions, and I love to engage in their stories, but I also love to tell stories. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. For the last couple of years, I've been in this season where I've been working multiple jobs. Now, originally when I started out the season, it was cool. I wasn't spending a lot of time at any one job because I had 4. So I would bounce back and forth between all of my different jobs. And it was cool and it was fun and everything was always fresh. But, seasons are cool when they first start out and there's new things going on. But over time, the very things that are new and cool become the things that wear you out and exhaust you. So now, a little while into this season, I'm starting to feel that drain. And, to be honest, last week I was very frustrated in this current season of life that I'm in. So, I get together with a friend once a week and we go over, we talk about life and kind of things like that. And they help me to process through some of the things that I'm feeling. And, I walked into this meeting with this person and I am loaded. I'm talking about I went in guns loaded, guns roaring, shooting things all over the place, going off about life. And I went off. And the person I was meeting with just sat there. And, I finally finished going off. And I stopped. And my friend hit me with this one thought. They're like, you're sitting here very frustrated in the season that you're in. But don't you realize God has you in this season for a reason? And I was like, yeah, no, I get that. But I'm just so frustrated. And they were like, Tim, God has you in this season for a reason. And I was like, I stopped. I sat there and thought about that for a second. I was like, yeah, I guess. And they were like, they hit me with another like one-liner. How do you know that right now there's not someone at one of your other jobs that needs you right now? I had been praying and asking God to speak, and immediately God brought to mind someone at one of my jobs that I've been connecting with, and that they're going through a rough time, and I've been able to walk with them through this tough time. And I kind of stopped and I kind of breathed. I took a breath. I was like, but the more I think about where I was at last week, the more I think I realize that this is a very fine line that we all walk. I feel like on a daily basis, or maybe even a weekly basis. We go through seasons of our lives, and we go through things, and we start to get frustrated because we think, life would be better if I could just have this, or life would be awesome if I could just do this, or if God would just grant me more money so I could get this new car so I could do my job better, or if God would grant me this new position, or if God would grant me this, or if God would bring a person into my life for me to spend my life with, or whatever it is. We go into the season thinking that we need to have it. And, I think we think that we need to have it, but the reality is that God has us in the season we're in for a reason. And I think we need to embrace the season we're in. As part of my job, I get to talk to teenagers a lot. So last week we talked about money, and we talked about giving and gratitude. And I talked about the passage in 1 Kings 17, where Elijah is in the Kerith ravine, it's called. And God sends him to this ravine, and he sends him there, and he tells him, listen, the way you are going to be provided for in this season is ravens are going to bring you meat and bread in the morning and in the evening, and you are going to drink from this brook. The way Elijah was getting food in this season of his life was birds were bringing him food, and he was drinking from a brook. That's where God was sending him for that season. I think sometimes we look at our lives and we think, God's not providing because I don't have these things that I want. And if you look at the story of Elijah, we can see in this moment, I'm pretty sure Elijah wouldn't pick to be living in a ravine, drinking from a brook, and having birds bring him food. But that's where God placed him. It didn't change the fact, too, that God was providing for him in that ravine. Now, there's this concept that kept jumping out at me about this. And, everything that Elijah has in this moment is coming from God. And, my friend, when they called me out kind of on my frustration in the season I'm in, they hit me with the same thing, Tim. Everything you have is from God. And I want to challenge you with that, too. Everything you have in your life right now comes from God. Everything you have comes from God. And, the second thought that kind of jumped into my head and jumped into my mind is this. If everything you have comes from God, is it even really yours? If everything you have comes from God, is it even really yours? So, I was sitting there in this season, and I'm sitting there frustrated, and I'm sitting there and being like, God's not doing this, God's not doing that. But God gave me a job. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, but God, yeah, you gave me a job, but I'm struggling. Like 3 jobs, all part-time, not a ton of hours at either of them, or money at either of them. It can be a stretch sometimes. But God's providing still. And, I think sometimes we sit there and we think about, and I know I fell into this trap for a long time, of like, I can't really give because I don't have that much. Like, I don't have anything to give. And, I think sometimes back to the passage in the Bible where Jesus is sitting with the disciples and they're watching people put money into like the little offering thing as they're coming into the synagogue. And a woman gives what would be like the equivalent of 2 pennies into there. And Jesus stops the disciples and he goes, guys, look, this woman gave all she had. The other people were giving out of the overflow. They were giving a little bit out of the multitude that they had, but this woman gave everything. And, there's this concept that I think we need to understand, and the concept that I challenge my students with this past week. Everything you have comes from God. Are you being grateful for the things that you have? If I'm honest, no, I'm not being grateful for the things that I have. I was really challenged by that, to sit there and to thank God for the things He has given me. And on the second side of that and the flip side of that, I challenged them to really sit this week before God and to say, God, thank you for the things that you've given me in my life. And then I challenged them with the second part, to sit before God and to ask God, okay, God, what of what you've given me am I supposed to give away? Because, I believe God provides for us, and I believe that sometimes the very thing that God provides for us, He provides for us to use to bless someone else. So I challenged my students to sit and to look at the things that they have and to look at what God's given them and to thank God for those things, and then to ask God, God, what of this are you asking me to give away? What are you asking me to give to someone else to bless them? I want to challenge you in this season that you're in. If you're frustrated, if you're going through some things, if life is hard right now, to sit there and to thank God for the provision that He's given you, for the ways that He's provided for you in this season. And I want to challenge you to take that a step further and to sit before God and to ask God, God, what of what you've provided am I supposed to use to bless someone else? What of what you provided should I use to provide for someone else? Thanks for checking out this video. I hope you have a great day. I want to just leave you with that challenge. Look at the things that you have and thank God for them. And then ask God, God, what of what you've given me am I supposed to use to bless someone else? Have a great day.